The press briefing will be held in the chapel. That's the arrival of Honorable Daniel Sando. He is the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs. Keep following. So I'll stick and still first as to bring you 4 updates on today's press briefing.
Distinguished colleagues of the media, our esteemed guests, our acting minister, Honorable Paul, the Assistant Minister for Technical Services, our radio listeners, television viewers, social media followers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good
We'd like to welcome you to the official
welcome to school.
press briefing of the Ministry of Information here in the New Province Charge Beyond Press Board. Today's press briefing is presented by the acting information minister on Daniel Sando. Our guests in attendance are Honorable Aaron Tingban, the Minister of Mines and Energy, and Honorable Ennis Hughes, the Managing Director of the Republic International Expert. And then I'd like to invite the Acting Minister of Information, Daniel Sando, who will speak to you on government's position. We will correct the wrongs, the myths in the society, and state the truth of what the government is doing. I'd like to invite the acting Minister of Information, Daniel Sando, who will come on the national podium.
So that was the voice of the acting assistant minister for information services. Next is Daniel Sando, who is now the acting minister of information. Keep following.
Let me start by saying that we have repeatedly emphasized the need for the quorum in the hall. You got your gadgets, your cell phones, everything on. You go live. You see distinguished guests seated on the platform. You stay causing disturbances. Generally, the same way you can scrutinize the politician. It was scrutinized here in the same manner and form. I don't know what will make all the progress here. So every day we come there, we see the same thing you're saying. Well, anyway, let me, on behalf of the senior management team of the Ministry of Information, welcome the Honorable Aaron Tingban to the Ministry of Information, and to also welcome Honorable Hughes, the Liberia Airport Authority boss. We also want to welcome distinguished guests that accompany the 2 heads of entities to the Ministry of Information press briefing. They came with their respective delegation. I show they will make an introduction appropriately on the mounted podium. Come with. What kind of sign is that? Go ahead.
So this is ELBT 99.9 FM and LNTV Liberia Live. I'm coming to your live at the mention information key following.
Tomorrow, and as he arrives, is expected to proceed to the camp to lay his brother to rest. And we will continue to remember the minister and his family in our prayers. Today we have a full house, so let me just speak to the following issues, and then we'll turn the platform over to our guest, beginning with the Minister of Mines and Energy. A lot is happening on the global stage, and we are pleased to announce that the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, underscores deep concern for the safety and well-being of Liberians in the Middle East. The government urges all Liberians residing in the countries of the Middle East that are affected with ongoing attacks to remain attentive to official communication channels and follow instructions provided by their respective embassies. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs wishes to inform all Liberians residing in the Middle East that each Liberian embassy in the region has issued or is in the process of issuing an advisory related to their respective jurisdiction. All Liberians residing in the Middle East are encouraged to contact the embassy responsible for their country of residence to obtain specific guidance and updates. These advisories, the ministry added, are designed to safeguard citizens and provide timely information on matters of importance. So it has come to the attention of the government of Liberia that some nefarious and diabolical individuals purposely and calculated the crafting of a statement which was circulated on social media purporting to condemn recent military actions in the Middle East, and also purporting that Liberia pledged support to the Islamic Republic of Iran. This is concerning, and the government has categorically denied that the statement comes from Iran. The government wishes to make it abundantly clear that the statement is fabricated. The statement is a fabricated lie and is wholly inconsistent with Liberia's foreign policy and diplomatic practice. As a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council, Liberia works closely with its African partners in the A3 framework to promote common African positions on matters before the Council. In this regard, Liberia has only spoken once as part of the A3 statement made at the UN Security Council section on February 28, 2026. Beyond that statement, Liberia has issued no other statement from Monrovia or from the permanent mission in New York. In addition, the fake statement which was circulated on social media strongly contradicts Liberia's foreign policy position. Such statements are not only reckless, but are dangerous and outrageous to Liberia and Liberians at home and abroad. The government of Liberia calls on those carrying out such nefarious acts against the country to desist, and wishes to inform the public that the law will take a course when such individuals are identified. Security personnel are actively investigating the source of the fake statement, which was falsely attributed to Ambassador Louis Brown. And the government, however, called on all abuse, media institutions, and others to kindly verify such statements from circulating. So we have consistently said that in other countries, people are using social media for their benefit. Influencers, we have the pages monetized, and they produce entertaining content, and they make money. In Liberia, there are some individuals who have decided to consistently use social media to present a negative picture of what the country is. That is one necessity. This is the second time that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the government of Liberia will have to clarify the statement that have no basis in truth. We recall when the elections in Cameroon ended, there was a standoff. Two parties claimed victory. And one individual who runs something called the Diaspora Alliance. And thanks to AI, many of them who cannot even read and write properly are now writing statements. That individual used that platform called the Diaspora Alliance, publishing a statement to the effect that Liberia condemned the action of the Cuban president and recognized, and that Liberia recognized the opposition as the winner of the election. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs again had to issue a statement. These individuals are here, they are in our midst. And they do these things in the name of politics. Do you know how many Liberians reside in Cameroon? Do you know how many Liberians are resident in America? And then when something involving two countries is ongoing on the international stage, you think it's an opportunity for you to throw something out there that will show a monkey wrench between the two countries. It is unacceptable. And as the ministry announced, the security people are investigating. And any individual found to be responsible for the circulation, the crafting, and circulation of the statement will be dealt with according to our law. On another note, and on a very sad note, the government received confirmation of the death of the Liberian national, Mr. Austin Tingban, age 26. And this incident occurred on February 27, 2026 in Lashibi Sakumolo area of Accra, Ghana. The Embassy of Liberia in Accra was informed of the matter and immediately initiated contact with the relevant Ghanaian authorities, including the crimes unit of the Sakumolo District Police. The goal was to obtain verified details and to ensure that appropriate procedures have been followed. According to information provided by the Ghanaian Police Service, the matter is currently on active investigation. The embassy has been informed that arrests have been made in connection with this incident, and also efforts are ongoing to apprehend other individuals believed to be connected to the commission of this crime. The government of Liberia has been informed that Mr. Tingban, a resident of the Spintex area, had gone to visit a fellow Liberian at a residential property in Lashibi when an altercation occurred. And that altercation subsequently led to an unfortunate event that is now subject of police investigation. The Ghanaian Police Service immediately responded to the scene and transported the victim to the community hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. The embassy has been in communication with individuals connected to the incident, members of the Liberian community in Ghana, and the appropriate Ghanaian authorities. The government is also making efforts to formally engage the next of kin of the deceased in order to provide appropriate consular assistance and support. The government will continue to follow the matter closely and remain actively engaged with the relevant Ghanaian authorities to ensure that the matter proceeds in accordance with the laws of the Republic of Ghana. As a government, we extend deepest condolences to the family, friends, and community of the deceased. The government shares a deep sorrow of the Liberian community at this tragic loss and assure them of its fullest commitment to following this matter to its logical conclusion. In connection with that event, the Regional Public Affairs Office of the Ghana Police Service issued a statement which we obtained from the Liberia National Police. It reads as follows. The Accra Regional Police Command is investigating the circumstances leading to the death of the 26-year-old Austin Tingban following an incident at an apartment complex in Lashibi near Sakumolo on Friday, 27 February 2026. Preliminary investigation indicates that the deceased had visited his brother at a said apartment in the company of his girlfriend, but was attacked and assaulted by some residents and members of the public when the caretaker of the apartment raised an alarm that the deceased was a thief. A police patrol team responding to the distress call arrived promptly at the scene, rescued the deceased, and conveyed him to the community hospital for emergency medical attention. He was, however, pronounced dead on arrival by the medical officer on duty. The statement from the police goes on to say that 3 suspects, namely Vincent Azika, 38, Frances Amuzu, 44, and William Addison, 34, have been arrested and are currently in police custody, assisting with the investigation. A 4th suspect named Ingno Mesa is currently alive. That means he's on the run, and efforts are underway to have him arrested. The suspect will be put before court. They have been put before court on yesterday, Monday, 2nd of March, 2026. The Accra Regional Police Command cautioned the public against taking matters in their own hands and act of more justice are unacceptable. The EU Liberia Business Forum has ended. Of course, we announced that forum was organized in partnership with the European Union. They have been successfully hosted. It was held in Brussels. And the team was the ART, Agriculture, Road, Tourism and Sanitation in the Arrest, Agenda for Inclusive Development. A forum, a high-level one, showcased investment opportunities under the Arrest Agenda for Inclusive Development, which is a bold 5-year development strategy that is focused on agriculture, rule of law, education, sanitation, tourism, trade and tourism. It reinforces Liberia's dedication to sustainable growth. At the center of everything was agriculture. It took the center stage. And the Minister of Agriculture, J. Alexander Luther, delivered a clear message to European investors. He noted that Liberia is ready for agro-industrial transformation. The government is prioritizing structural investments in rice, cassava, maize, coffee, and oil palm. The focus is not just on production, the Minister added, but on value addition and processing, mechanization, and inclusive growth scheme that ensures smallholder farmers grow alongside commercial investors. With strong support, we look forward to follow-up conversations with partners who attended the Liberia EU Business Forum. Coming to Liberia to do business is the main goal for which the forum was held. The country has launched a historic step towards transforming the livestock sector. And we're talking about the launch of the live lane. It is Liberia's first dedicated livestock development project. The Minister of Agriculture is heading that. He officially launched the strategic design process in partnership with the International Fund for Agricultural Development. It is the first step. It is the first time Liberia is now moving to a specialized project focused directly on livestock development. Through the Live project, the Ministry of Agriculture will revitalize 7 ranches across Liberia and unlock over 120,000 hectares of grassland in southeastern Liberia to expand cattle production, including scaling up the indigenous Matuli breed. Backed by an initial 30 million allocation on the International Fund for Economic Development, the project aims to reduce the importation of meat, boost domestic production, and create sustainable income opportunities for rural farmers. The project marked the beginning of an independence for Liberia in the production of meat. The LAA program is expected to commence full implementation by the end of 2027, following completion of the design and approval process. Liberia moves towards breeding resilience, empowering rural communities, and strengthening national food security. Lastly, before I retire and invite the Minister of Mines to the podium, the Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the Ministry of Local Government, and with support from Expertise France and Agence Française de Development, has launched the Leadership, Management, Governance, and Decentralization Framework to strengthen health governance and improve service delivery nationwide. The launch and dissemination event was convened under the theme Strengthening Health Governance for Better Health Outcomes. The framework represents a comprehensive package of 4 core documents: the policy, implementation strategy, standard operating procedures, and operational guidelines designed to establish a clear vision and strategic direction for leadership and governance across all levels of Liberia health system. Minister of Health, Dr. Louise Mapek-Poto, described the framework as an achievement rooted in national ownership and collaboration. Thank you for your attention, members of the press. Now, have the distinguished honor to invite Liberia Minister of Mines and Energy.
So we just listened on to Honorable Daniel Odesamo. He's the acting Minister of Information, and this is our Ministers of Mines and Energy. So if you just join us, I would like to say welcome to this live broadcast. I'm coming to you live at the Ministry of Information. Keep following.
Let me firstly extend my thanks and appreciation to President Joseph Mabuakai for giving us the opportunity to serve our country. I want to also thank the Minister of Information for always using the corridor for adequate information dissemination within the circle of the government. But let me give this particular and special announcement. It's a disclaimer. There are some criminals parading the social media in my photo, soliciting money, and I'm the one that bearing trouble for police grounds. It is not maternity Tingban. That star is not in his DNA. It's not me. So anyone that you see communicating with you on the social media with my photo, it's not my page, I'm not being hijacked. It's my photo that person is using to solicit money around. It's not my tenant. That person is a criminal. This is a briefing note from me as the Minister of Mines and Energy. Let me begin with by appreciating the Ministry of Information for maintaining this important platform that informs our people on a weekly basis about what their government is doing to improve livelihoods and deliver tangible development across the country. I also extend appreciation to members of the media for your continual coverage of these press conferences. Though information about our work reaches the Liberian people. As you may be aware, I have just returned from attending the 2026 Money Endeavor Conference in South Africa, and from India, where we presented Liberia in efforts to attract investment, strengthen our money and energy sector. At the Money Endeavor is Africa's premier money investment conference, bringing together industry leaders, investors, government, and communities to explore opportunities and partnership in the continent mineral sector. During our participation, we presented Liberia's case to investors and business leaders across the mining industry. We remain actively engaged with the connection established in Cape Town, and I'm optimistic about positive outcome from those discussions. We emphasize that Liberia's geology is exceptionally promising and holds significant potential for the discovery of vast mineral deposits across the country. We also highlighted Liberia's political stability while showcasing our geological potential from our national boot proudly flying Liberian flag. We further informed the global mining community about the recent signing of production sharing contracts with foreign investors, which includes Total for also oil blocks. This milestone positions Liberia as an investor-friendly destination and demonstrates that our doors are open for mutually beneficial partnerships. Africa, as we converge together, speaking about value addition and strategic partnership. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the need for value addition in Liberia's mineral sector cannot be overstated. This is why we honor an invitation to India, where we have fruitful discussion regarding the potential construction of a gold refinery in Liberia. This initiative is long overdue. We must transition from relying solely on the export of raw, unprocessed minerals, which limits national benefit, to value-added processes within our borders. Similar discussions were held at the Future Mining Forum in Saudi Arabia, where we once again made a compelling case for Liberia as a mineral endowed and investment-ready country. The proposal for a national mining company. We have formally proposed to His Excellency President Joseph Boakai Sr. the establishment of a national mining company. The President is currently reviewing this proposal. Once established through legislation, the national mining company will be providing the following: manage Liberia's equity shares in mineral production, coordinate national geological research, participate strategically in mining operations. The initiative will significantly increase Liberia's direct benefits from mineral resources. You know, for quite a while, you haven't been hearing about the Kimini process, though it's a process. Liberia is expected to host a delegation this month from the Kimini process certification scheme. The Kimini process, established in 2003, is an international certification mechanism designed to prevent conflict diamonds from entering the global diamond trade and to safeguard integrity of the diamond supply chain. Now we go to this, the state of the mining sector. You know, all of us are quite aware that illicit mining is a very dangerous thing that is happening in Liberia. Illicit mining and mineral smuggling remain serious challenges, particularly within the artisanal and small-scale to medium-scale sector. Illegal operators, often using excavator and dredges, continue to exploit and smuggle Liberia's mineral resources without legal authorization. We are putting all owners of excavator and dredges engaged in illegal mining activities on notice. Remove your equipment immediately for illicit sites. The law grants the ministry authority to seize equipment and equipment used in illegal mining, and we will exercise that authority. We are collaborating with the Ministry of Transport and National Security Institutions to pursue both operators and equipment owners. Offenders will face the full weight of the law. Additionally, we are strengthening whistleblower initiative and tightening reporting requirements for mineral rights holders to improve traceability and maximum government revenue. In strengthening governance and regulatory reform, the ministry has transitioned from a paper-based licensing system to a fully digital platform. Applicants can now apply and make payments via mobile phone. We have established a customer service unit to enhance public engagement and service delivery. Amendments to the mining law are on our way to mobilize and strengthen the legal framework. We have introduced key regulations, including river sand mining regulation, critical minerals regulation on the exploration and drilling of groundwater, updated mineral exploration regulation. We are also working with the Central Bank of Liberia to enhance gold value addition through improved purchasing and refining mechanism, contributing directly to national gold reserves. The ministry has decentralized its operation. The ministry has launched a major decentralization initiative across the 15 countries. With support from the government of India, we recruited and trained 30 geoscientists, mining engineers, geologists. These professionals will serve as county mining officers, resident geologists, and resident mining engineers. When fully operational, citizens will no longer need to travel from distant counties such as Maryland to Monrovia for licensing services. Decentralization ensures accessibility, efficiency, and accountability. Infrastructure development. We have completed a new facility for the Liberian Hydrological Services, which has relocated to our capital office. Construction of the second building for the Liberian Geological Survey is progressing rapidly. These investments strengthen the technical foundation of Liberia's mineral and energy sector. In our licensing process, Liberia's current active mineral rights portfolio include 9 mineral development agreements in the country currently. We also have 9 Class A mining licenses. We have 105 exploration licenses been issued, 57 prospecting licenses, 25 dealer or export licenses, 86 Class B mining licenses, 110 broker licenses, and 1,222 Class C mining licenses that is being issued to our locals. In 2025, the mining sector generated approximately 182 million, significantly exceeding the projected 144 million. The sector remains one of Liberia's primary growth drivers and is positioned for continued expansion. Major industry development. ArcelorMittal exported approximately 10 million tons of iron ore in 2025, the highest in its history, and expect further growth. China Union is resuming operation after suspension during the 2014 Ebola outbreak and project 2 million tons of export this year. Bachiko Resources is constructing an iron ore jetty in Bomi County and project 800,000 tons in 2026. Gold, silver, and diamond production. Total gold shipment exceeded 362,000 total ounces, with silver export of 11,000 kilograms. MNG Gold Liberia is resuming operations. Artisanal diamond export reached 35,817 carat, value at approximately $7.9 million. Additional advancing projects include Kavala Resources, the revival of the Kutu Iron Ore Mine project, and ongoing engagement with Homebury Resources Liberia. We have also received 3 new mineral development agreement applications. They are Genrox in gold, Westcrest, which is iron ore, and then the YDMC, which is in diamond. If approved, YDMC will represent Liberia's first large-scale diamond mine producing from kimberlite deposit. Let me make a special emphasis on recent progress in the iron ore sector, which we view as the dawn of a new era for Liberia's extractive sector, with a strong focus on the iron ore industry and infrastructure. Members of the press, fellow Liberians, and our international partners, we were recently in Cape Town at Mali in Daba 2026. During my time, I engaged with global leaders, financiers, and mining majors who show immense enthusiasm for the future of Liberia's mineral sector. The world is watching our progress with great interest, recognizing the massive economic potential our nation holds. Today, I'm proud to announce a historic milestone that validates that global confidence. The final passage of the third amendment of ArcelorMittal Mineral Development Agreement and the ratification of the real standard operating procedure of the RSOP for 2 decades. By extending the operating term to 2050, we are securing a $3.5 billion total investment. This is not just a contract, it is a catalyst of our economy. AML transition to high-grade concentrate production at Tokati will see export surge from 5 million tons today to 20 million tons annually by 2026, with a roadmap to 30 million tons. This expansion is backed by a $200 million United States immediate lump sum payment to the government, providing an urgent and powerful boost to our national treasury. Now we talk about the corridor from the Kenya to Ikipa, which is an economic zone that we all anticipate to receive a lot of good things from there. Let me address the geographic of our progress with absolute clarity. The infrastructure that stretches from Ikipa border areas to the port of the Kenya belongs to the people of the Republic of Liberia. This corridor is hereby officially defined as the Buchanan-Ikipa Economic Development Zone. It is a sovereign asset anchored in our soil and managed for our people. The RSOP Best Practices Framework, that is the real standard operating procedure. The passage of the real standard operating procedure RSOP is a game changer. It provides a best practices framework for multi-user access, ensuring that the totally Buchanan rail, the lifeblood of our mining operation, is managed with transparency and efficiency. The transition to independent operator, ArcelorMittal has agreed that a new independent operator will take over the rail. Operation is in September 2030. This transition is carefully designed to be consistent with the financial and managerial capacity of the government of the Republic of Liberia. Sovereignty and management. The government continues to be the owner of the rail infrastructure. The independent operator will be supervised by a committee of all users and will adhere to national rail standard, ensuring that management never jeopardizes our country's largest investments, opening the door for future investors. You know, the rail being a strategic asset to the government. These principles respond directly to requests made by other future users. Any investor who wishes to enter honor an access agreement to utilize the rail corridor to the port of Buchanan now have a clear and predictable pathway to do so. Requirement for connection. While the national rail is open, it requires commitment. Other users must make their own significant investment in their respective mines and transport corridor to connect to the Liberian rail system. We provide the backbone, they must provide the rates. Investment in the Liberian prison. This agreement ensures that as the mine grows, our people grow. We have secured unprecedented commitment to liberalization. Excuse me. 1. Management within 1 year, 50% of management role will be held by Liberians, rising to 90% within 10 years. One of the top 4 senior management positions will be held by a Liberian within the year. Community. The annual community funds that was previously $3 million is now up to $5 million for the 3 counties, which is Nima, Bomb, and Grand Bassa County. In Buchanan, there is a training center there, and a budget of $500,000 annually has been allocated by ArcelorMittal to ensure our youth are the technical leaders of this new era. Progress in the energy sector. The ministry, as the sector lead, has recorded significant achievement in the areas of policy review and development, institutional coordination, and energy access in collaboration with LEC and relevant stakeholders in achieving the AARD goals. These include establishing and launch of the capacity of the compact delivery and monitoring unit at the Ministry of Mines and Energy. This initiative presents an opportunity to highlight Liberia's progress and secure support as the country advances towards achieving universal electricity access in a reliable, affordable, and sustainable manner. The compact delivery and monitoring unit supports the compacts by coordinating implementation, tracking results, and resolving bottlenecks. The review of the 2015 Electricity Law of Liberia, 2015 EELL. Liberia review process will mark a major transformation in Liberia's approach to sector governance, energy production, consumption, and management. The ongoing review, initiated through the Liberia Electricity Regulatory Commission (LERC), seeks to align the law with current realities in yielding a greener, more efficient, and commercially viable energy sector. Review and adoption of the National Energy Policy. NEP, the National Energy Policy represents a transformative shift in our approach to energy production, consumption, and management, reflecting the belief that a new energy policy will pave the way for a greener, more efficient, and economically viable society that addresses current realities. Development of the net metering policy for Liberia. This policy represents an important milestone towards energy diversity, sustainability, and equitable access. The initiative was implemented in collaboration with the Environmental Protection Agency and funded by the Government of Canada through Environmental and Climate Change Canada and Nova Sphere. Developing of regulation on the use of prepaid meter by government ministry and agency. The ministry has begun rolling out its prepaid metering system for government ministries and agencies, starting with the Ministry of Mines and Energy and subsequently extending to the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism. 6. We launched the launch of Liberia First Energy Information System, EIS. In collaboration with the government, ministry, and agency, the ECOWAS Commission, and key energy stakeholders, the ministry launched Liberia Energy Information System website on June 4, 2025. The website is designed to provide access to comprehensive energy balances and indicators, including oil, biofuel, and waste, hydro, geothermal, solar, and more for Liberia. Liberia First Solar Option. In collaboration with the World Bank, Liberia has launched a first ever competitive solar auction process. The initiative has successfully progressed through both the request for qualification RFQ and request for proposal RFP stages. 2 sites have been identified for development. That is in Buchanan Grand Bassa County, approximately 112 hectares of land. In Nima County, approximately 97 hectares of land. This strategic initiative represents a major milestone in attracting competitive private sector participation in Liberia renewable energy market, ensuring cost-effective and sustainable solar generation capacity for the national grid. Let me lay out some initiatives approved on the Independent Power Producer RPP project. Following the thorough evaluation of 75 expressions of interest, 10 were shortlisted as projects of interest, POIs, and 5 have been formally approved by the Liberia Electricity Corporation (LEC). These approved independent power producer RPP projects set a strong foundation for Liberia's energy sector, driving reliable electricity generation, renewable energy adoption, and long-term infrastructure development. These include NERS, which is 40 megawatt solar heavy fuel oil HFO backup power purchase signed. Pre-construction phase is at hand. Energy America Corp 100 megawatt solar plus 100 megawatt battery energy storage system, including the new LEC airports. Atom Energy 190 to 200 megawatt St. Paul Hydro Cascade pre-feasibility study ongoing. HFO plant 140 megawatt total PPA signed. The transformation of Liberia mineral sector is not simply about enforcement, it is about reform, it is about modernization, it is about participation, and it is about ensuring that Liberia derives maximum benefit from its God-given resources. We are committed to combating illicit mining, that is in conclusion, and smuggling, strengthening regulatory oversight, enhancing transparency and traceability, expanding production and responsibility, increasing national revenue, and ensuring value addition through increased, affordable, accessible, and reliable energy supply. Ladies and gentlemen, the time to change the game is now. And together, we build the mineral sector that works for all Liberians. Thank you.
So that was the voice of our Mass Energy Minister, Minister Tingban LAA. He provided updates on his participation in the 2026 Money Conference into Africa and the accidental concession agreement, renewal and job benefit that the potential has a range from job creation to affected country. So once again, if you just joined us, I would like to say welcome to this live broadcast. I'm coming to you live at the Ministry of Information. Keep following.
Esteemed colleagues from the Ministry of Information and valued stakeholders, I begin by first expressing my heartfelt thanks and appreciation to His Excellency, President of Liberia, Joseph Yuma, for affording us the opportunity to serve the Liberian people. I also take this opportunity to thank the Ministry of Information for allowing us to be here today. I'm honored to join you today to provide an update on the ongoing work, strategic initiatives, and milestones of the Liberia Airport Authority as we chart the course for 2026 and beyond. Our vision is to transform Liberia's airport into vibrant hubs that serve as a gateway to West Africa and beyond, anchored by unwavering commitment to safety, security, and customer service excellence. Through collaborative efforts and innovative strategies, we are determined to ensure that our aerodromes not only meet but exceed international standards, creating lasting value for all users and communities. Our interactions today will be structured around three primary thematic areas, namely safety, security, and customer service excellence. We will also discuss some cross-cutting issues that either support the critical thematic areas or are standalone but critical to the direction of the Liberia Airport Authority. So I want to start by talking a little bit about what we're doing for the first thematic area, which is safety. I think we can all hear the line that air transport is one of the safest modes of transportation. This is due in large part to the very stringent standards imposed by aircrafts, airports, and aircrew certifying agencies. Safety in aviation can be considered or condensed into two critical components: The first one is occupational safety, which are all of those activities geared towards protecting the passenger, neighbors, and staff from risk inherent in aviation activities. And the second is operational safety, which is safety activities geared to protect aviation from risks stemming from bad conditions, unsafe acts and procedures, unsuitable infrastructure, and human error. In this regard, the LAA activities and strategies are focused in the following area. In January, we formally adopted and executed a robust safety policy to govern all aspects of airport operations, ensuring the protection and safeguarding of all users. Additionally, airports go through a process just like you and me would to get a driver license. We go through a process for certification. And so in that context, certification means the action of making certain that an airport meets the requirements of the International Civil Aviation Organization standards, ICAO for short, and recommended practice as specified in Annex 14, pertaining specifically to airports, or in some instances as implemented by the contracting stage when differences exist. It is the vision of the LAA to become certified by Q4 of 2026. We have hired a renowned regional aviation consultancy firm, through a competitive tendering process to assess, support, train, and prepare LAA's Roberts International Airport for certification. This certification of RRA will be the first time for a Liberian airport to be certified ever, first ever. The reason for this is that certification will attract new carriers and support our vision to become West Africa travel hub and the last port of call for direct flights to the Americas. We have also rolled out, and sometimes when you go out of the airport, you'll see birds and stuff, and those are dangerous for aircraft. We have also rolled out a formal wildlife protection strategy that aims to protect our aircraft, passengers, personnel, and all stakeholders accessing the airports. We're currently upgrading our fire and rescue capabilities. Currently, our fleet we have is 3 fire trucks and an ambulance, but we're looking, and that puts us with the help of the Liberian National Fire Service, put us in a category rating of category 8. We are looking with the plan that we have right now that will be executed in the next few weeks. We plan to purchase additional fire and rescue equipment to expand our fleet to at least 5 fire trucks and 3 ambulances. And with that level of capability, we will meet or exceed our category 10 rating. Again, this will be the first for Liberia. We're also at the LAA transitioning to a more robust and diversified power generation facility. So we're looking to add solar. We already have diesel, and we also rely on the national power grid. By adding solar and also stabilizing what we currently have, it will facilitate a redundant, reliable, and safe energy supply for continuous airport operation. This stability is critical for our navigation systems, our runway lighting systems, our air traffic control, and our terminal functions. The next pillar is security. And again, I almost always like to provide definitions so that everybody can follow what we're talking about. When it comes to civil aviation security, it's a combination of measures and human and material resources intended to safeguard civil aviation against acts of unlawful interference. As defined by ICAO, the objective of civil aviation security is to safeguard passengers, crews, ground personnel, the general public, aircraft, airports, and navigation facilities against acts of unlawful interference. ICAO, which is the standard setting body, requires that all states must establish measures, including resources, organizations, plans, and procedures, which together will provide a standardized level of security for all flights in conditions of regular operations and which are capable of rapid extension to cope with an increase of security threat or an actual act of unlawful interference. To fulfill these requirements, we have undertaken the following. Through intervention by the European Union, we are improving all of our perimeter fences and access roads, and the plan there is to increase the level of protection to enhance the security and safety of our airport users. We're also overhauling our surveillance and intrusion detection systems, and we're upgrading surveillance technologies and deploying new systems to prevent and to detect both overt and covert threats in response to global challenges such as terrorism and illegal trafficking. We're also increasing our access controls, and so areas where access control is restricted, we're adopting new technological access control systems, and we're designing and implementing those to address various threat levels, ensuring entry and exit throughout the airport. As part of this particular mitigation, we have, and I think you saw that in the news a few weeks ago, we have revoked all access passes, and we are working to vet and reissue those specific access passes so we can have a more controlled environment and enhance the passenger experience. We have acquired new screening equipment, and this will be, we're going through a process now where our guys are being trained how to use it. They will be deployed soon, and the expectation is that it will fortify our defenses against increasingly sophisticated criminal activities. The last pillar I want to talk about is our commitment to customer service excellence and delivery. We're upgrading our check-in systems. In a month or two, you will see new check-in counters, and the thing there is to streamline customer experience at the check-in points. We're looking at the arrival hall. That has been an Achilles at the airport forever for those of you who've traveled. You've seen where when we have more than 2 flights, it is just bad. And so we're actively seeking some intervention. We've engaged firms that are doing an assessment, and the plan is to redesign our passenger arrival hall for more efficient and effective processing of passengers and baggage, reducing congestion and optimizing passenger experience. Decongestion of the terminal is our priority to ensure comfort and efficiency of all travelers. So we hear you, we hear what everybody is saying, and we're working towards decongesting the terminals at the airports. Some other cross-cutting initiatives that I just want to share outside of those 3 significant pillars. Employee transportation, we have been able to provide buses to ferry our staff to and from work, alleviating transportation constraints. We're currently renovating, because we do have management quarters or housing quarters for the staff. We're currently renovating all of that to support a seamless operation and ensure that our people are there to provide a service rather than having to come from long distance. So we're in that process right now, and within the next couple of weeks, people will start to move back into those units. Our employees are receiving the compensation on time, and the supervisors are also receiving additional benefits, scratch cards, fuel, etc. And we're also wanting to make sure that our impact is not just the work that we do, but we're trying to foster long-term relationships with the local communities. And so we're supporting schools, hospitals, and providing daily labor opportunities to communities in and around the RI, etc. In closing, the Liberia Airport Authority remains steadfast in its pursuit of safety, security, and service excellence. We invite continued collaboration and feedback as we strive to deliver world-class airport operations and contribute to Liberia's growth and prosperity. Thank you.
We'd like to thank our audience, Tingban, for their presentations. At this juncture, we'd like to take your questions. Please come in the queue. So we encourage you to take up the question.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please. Thank you. My name is Mano Mopolu, and I report for Inside Liberia. Let me say thank to all of you, the guests. But I have two quick concerns to Minister Tingban. Thank you so much. Recent, Minister Tingban, you were summoned by the Liberian legislature due to what it described as several, violation. And
one question to a guest, please.
But I have not even asked a question. Yeah. Thank you. So, like I said, you were summoned by the Liberian legislature due to what they described as several violations within the mining sector and non-compliance. How far is that case? Lastly, the issue of energy. Because
one question to a guest, please. Thank you. Next person. Let's take the two females in the line, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Avina Benga and I report for GoFM. Minister Tingban, there's a new structure ongoing at the Ministry of Mines and Energy. What is it? Thank you very much.
So please, looking at the length of the line, please look at your questions. Choose the best one.
My name is Musu Kane and I'm from the Liberia Broadcasting System. And my question goes to the minister. I would like to know as to whether the government of Liberia are going to send investigators to collaborate with Ghanaian counterparts to ensure a transparent investigation. If yes, what is the government doing to protect all Liberian citizens residing in Ghana? Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Alison Smo and I report for Today Liberia Television. Thank you, Minister Tingban, for the job well done. But I have concern, basically from the Liberian people. With all of the millions and millions of tons of minerals leaving from Liberia, what can the government point out to as a benefit to the Liberian citizen? And
one question.
I got one question for.
The line is long. One question.
Sure.
And so, my name is Prince Tuba and I report for Spotlight Africa Online TV. My question goes to the Minister of Mines and Energy. You spoke about critical resolution to deal with illicit mining. My point, what special measure are you putting in place in terms of implementation to making sure that people who are caught in this habit are according to our laws?
Thank you. Next question.
So, good afternoon. My name is David KB and my question goes to the government. Royal TV Liberia. Of recent, let me say a big thanks to the government first for their efforts in bringing in the first batch of yellow machines. Of recent, the government brought in NTA buses to help ease the issue of transportation in our country. But the government also told us that they were working on the first bus during Jowiatan, this bus is doing Jowiatan to repair it. And we have not heard anything about these buses. How far with these buses in terms of repairing them to put them on the street to help ease transportation?
Thank you. Next question.
So my name is Hughes and I report for Radio George Africa Magiri County. My question goes to the LAA boss from Mr. Hughes or Dr. Hughes. How many airstrips the LAA operates in Liberia and how effective are the airstrips? And how can you explain to Liberian people that the airstrips in Liberia or the RRA will be used just in case there is an intense war between the Israel and that of Iran?
Thank you. My name is George Momo and I report for the Liberia News Agency. So a follow-up to Minister Sando, what have been the feedback from the Ministry of Public Works relative to the Jacotown through Nicholaston City View to Pueblan Road? And
one question. Next person, please.
To the LAA, there is this commercial flight at Springfield to the southeast, and that charge $3 per kilogram. But at the airport, when you go to make payment, they reject Liberian dollars and take only United States dollar. So you talk about customer care. What is the authority doing to ensure that when you to pay in USD and you brought the equivalent is being accepted?
My name is Puji and I report for Blaze FM. My question is directed to Minister Sando. Minister Sando, if you can retrospect in 2025, on November 14, there was a fire outbreak that led to the death of the Shara community chairperson, the late Theodore Garnett, wherein fingers were pointed at some representatives saying that they are involved in that fire, due to that fire that breakout, that they are involved in that. So now Liberians are wondering as to whether the government of Liberia has launched an investigation into that fire outbreak to come out with their findings what led to the outbreak of that fire. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Desmond Wee and I report for Democracy Watch newspaper. My first concern goes to Minister Tingban. Why it is true you acknowledge that there is plan with the Indian counterpart to construct a gold refinery in Liberia. But in terms of specificity, at what point in time do Liberians stand to benefit from the construction of that gold refinery? And what is this year expected budget, or better still, revenue target from the Ministry of Mines and Energy, just as you exceeded your target of 2025 this year? What is in the pipeline for your revenue target? And to the IAA, or better still, the Airport Authority, Liberia is a kind of country for too long. We can only boast of one international airport. Like one countries in the western region, like Ghana, you have several other international airports. You, as a new managing director, is there any plan in terms of with our existing airstrips to see our best to modernize these airstrips so that they can be able to meet international standards, so that Liberia can no longer boast of only one international airport that is
Good afternoon. My name is Winston Deegan and I report for Spoon TV. My question is directed to the Director of Liberia Airport Authority. You spoke about the Airport Authority transitioning from Category 8 or whatever category to Category 10 when it comes to firefighting. So what has become the authority intervention when it comes to providing new equipment, because we are aware that the airport has been facing a couple of challenges. So are we going to stick to your own equipment, or are there procurement in process to ensure that the airport authority has new equipment like fire trucks and ambulances? Thank you.
My name is Joseph Sadi and I report for Lata FM and TV. My question goes to the Liberia Airport Authority. I sat and listened to you, and in all of your points that you were making, and you didn't highlight some of the achievement at the spring fee. So I want to know if there are some you can tell the public and to the government. What is Liberia's current position when it comes to the whole issue of Iran in America? Apart from the statements just by reading on Facebook, you claim that is fake. So what is the country present position when it comes to the issue of Iran and America?
Good afternoon. My name is T-Mac. I report for KMTV Liberia. My question goes to Minister Tingban. Minister Tingban, I did follow you when you were in South Africa, Cape Town, when you were attending the Indabat. So, you spoke about investor winning, and also Liberia winning, and you also made mention about Arsenal Metal exporting 10 million tons of iron ore out of Liberia. So now, most of the concession company are operating Liberia, and sometimes that agreement they cannot, go about the agreement. For example, like Taylor Mayor in Carwell, they have a same money area there, but the road is very bad. So in your presentation, you said investor must be win and Liberia should benefit. So what are you doing now as a new minister of that Ministry of Mines and Energy? What are you doing to see how best Liberia will start to benefit from all of these concession companies, and how they can start improving the roads and other infrastructure that were mentioned in the agreement? Thank you.
Yes, please close the queue.
Okay, thank you for giving me the time. My name is Arthur P. Hughes. I report for the Homeland Online TV. Honorable Minister Sando, this is alarming. I mean, for Liberians staying outside. We were here and we got information about the killing of an Liberian citizens who went to India for studies, and we are here to get information about how far is the investigation. And with that, after that happens, there was another guy who was beaten, and he went to India there also for studies. And now it is also in Ghana, where a Liberian a national was allegedly killed by an individual. What is the government doing to protect Liberians staying outside of the country?
Well, good afternoon. I'm Joseph Kotmendwe, and I do report for Quality News Liberia. My question goes to Mines and Energy Minister. What is Liberia expected from your recent tour in Cape Town and Saudi Arabia? I'm saying, what will Liberia expect from your recent tour in Cape Town and Saudi Arabia?
Good afternoon, I'm Larry STP, and I report for Legit New Africa. And my question goes to the Land, Mines and Energy Minister. Liberia Electricity Corporation recently reported, and in the report they announced that they have lost annually 7 million to power theft. And each time the Ministry of Land, Mines and Energy comes up, they only focus on the issue of the land. What's about the energy? Why are you leaving out the energy? Thank you.
My name is James Walker, and I report for Kia Radio. My question goes to Liberia Airport Authority Managing Director. So just West Africa, I think 3 hours ago, talks about Royal Morocco, and Liberians are complaining about their baggages, getting missing and then not being able to get it back. So, and if you read the comments, you will see several testimonies from people there as well. So I want to know, are you aware of this, and what is your leadership doing to at least bring this one in? Thank you.
Thank you. Those are all the questions.
So that's it for questions. This is our response by the guest. Once again, if you just joined us, I would like to say welcome to this live broadcast. I'm coming to you live at the Ministry of Information. Keep following.
When I was summoned by the national legislature, firstly, I don't want to jump the gun, because I know there are a lot of discussions ongoing. When I was invited at the capital, I was now in country. So how can I be invited if I'm accused that I didn't appear? I was not in country. I was in South Africa. I'm in Endeavour. When I came, I arrived on Sunday. The next day, which was Monday, I was in India. So I was not in country. There was some misinformation, but the issue is being resolved, and as we move along. And this, one of you asked about the new structure at the Ministry of Mines. The new structure you see there is that is on rapid construction. There is the geological survey. As you may know that Liberia, as I continue to say, remains unexplored, and with all the mineral potential we have, Liberia remains unexplored. So because of that, one of our prime focuses is on the geological survey to put our geologists to work to make sure we generate the needed geoscientific data. That's why we've given the priority for that. So it's the newly newly geological survey on construction. So someone asked about what is government. What can the government benefit from all of this investment? Firstly, you just told me from the ArcelorMittal due, there is a net $200 million coming as signature. And besides that, in previous year, the Ministry of Mines and Energy generated over $180 million. And when the target was given, $144 million. So the mining sector with all the new investment are coming, like MND Gold is coming online, Chico is to export, China New is to export. So more benefits is going to come to Liberia when it comes to royalty, revenue, taxation, and other things which the LRA could speak about. And then someone asked the question, what are we doing, to combat the illicit mining? Firstly, I just mentioned in here about activating the whistleblower, because our problem is for the local communities. That's why we're working with the Ministry of Internal Affairs to make sure that the local community, the local authority can help us. When we stop, and in fact, when we go to arrest illicit miners in the field or some excavator that is being illegally carried into the field, they are shielded by the locals because you see they are personally benefiting from them, which is denying government of the needed revenue. So the smuggling of mineral, we are inviting, we are putting mechanism in place to have a whistleblower in place, because if you are caught going across the border with mineral, our projection is that once you catch this particular person that is smuggling mineral, you're going to get 50% of it, because it means that everybody will be vigilant. Like imagine somebody carrying a kilogram of gold across, and you blow the alarm, and it's awesome, then you get 50% of the value. So these are some of the measures that we'll put in place. And besides that, there is a reporting template that we are developing at the Ministry of Mines and Energy to be distributed to all the sites, those who are producing gold. There is a reporting template that we're developing. Also, if a grain of gold you produce from there, it must be recorded on that. Because if you can't renew your lesson, we're not going to renew your lesson until you see that report. So these are some of the measures we're putting in place. Then someone talk about the gold refinery. What would be the benefits? You see, the gold refinery, is a process. The ministry had never had a policy on gold refinery. It's now that because of the proliferation of the expression of interest, so our team has put some papers into place, and we're trying to do consultation with all of the stakeholders that will all agree on that this will be. And we expect that even by this year, in 12 months' time, when we publish that particular document, there are some that are expressing interest that in 12 months' time they can put out the refinery in Liberia. And the refinery in Liberia, some of the benefit that will come from there is this. This is how we're thinking. That in order to support and sustain the refinery, we need to formalize the ASN sector. The ASN sector has a huge potential. Tons of gold come from there without traceability. So we are working with the World Bank and the GDZ, the GRZ, to make sure we formalize the artisanal sector, so that those that will be there will reduce it into cooperative, to have control over the proliferation of yellow machine in the field that is degrading the land without land reclamation. So when we have these put into place, there will be an agreement with some investor that will sign it. Some are willing, they are lining up to sign that agreement with the Liberian government to support the ASN sector, to maximize productivity that will increase the economic stability of our citizens. So these are some of the benefits that will be associated. And this alone is also going to help to establish the gold reserve, the anticipated gold reserve at the central bank. Because when you have a gold reserve in the country, there are a lot of benefits. And then I think, more especially when you have a refinery and it's stem your gold, this is coming from Liberia, it brings a lot of economic benefits. And then someone talk about what we are doing to see Liberia, and NIA is a similar question. So, what Liberia expect from Saudi Arabia and South Africa? I just spoke about Saudi Arabia. We have what we call the FMF, the Future Mineral Forum, that is always taking place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. That particular forum that has been established in Saudi Arabia is bringing together all the African nations and also investors from different countries. Government have interest and people are converging there. And the African countries have gone together and said that they are fed up with raw material leaving Africa without entering the value chain. So we now have the African Mineral Strategic Group that has been established in Liberia is the founding member. That particular strategic group is also working with the World Bank, with Saudi Arabia, with the Saudi, Arabian government, and then other organizations that want to invest into Africa. Liberia is one of those that is to benefit from that particular funding that's supposed to be coming. In fact, the ratification of that document is supposed to be done. We brought the document and we submitted it, and the cabinet will have to bid on it and approve for it, and it is ratified. We are signed onto it, and the cabinet approved that. With that, we see a lot of funding coming because we say we want to conduct exploration to generate the needed geoscientific data to make sure we know what we have. Then when we go to the table, we'll be able to discuss, at the highest level. But as it stands now, because Liberia does not have access to generated geoscientific data with all the mineral potential, we don't have data. So that particular trip from Saudi Arabia is going to help us to harness the potential of Liberia. Then in also South Africa, we met, that's the biggest money conference in Africa that brings about investment giants, and other countries that have interest in investing, bilateral relationship from government to government. There you meet, you have SAR meetings, and our privilege to have been serving on one of the as one of the panelists in there. There's a forum there where top level officials come to this, what they call the Kilimanjaro stage. I was at that Kilimanjaro stage and presented Liberia case. You see that a lot of people gravitated towards us, and as we speak, there is a follow-up of that. So there are a lot of lineup, more especially in exploration, in establishing refinery, and there are some who are also interested in already projects that are going on in Liberia to invest into it. The AFC, the African Finance Corporation, is very, very interested because we had a strategic meeting with the African Finance Corporation. They are due here very soon. We met with a lot of billionaires that are lining up to come to Liberia. Very soon you see some good things happening in Liberia. And someone asked that we only talk about mines and we don't talk about anything except you were not listening. Because we spoke about it relatively, about those independent power producers, the solar lights are coming. Even right now, as we speak, you know that because Africa is coming together to enter the value chain, and Liberia is in the middle of it. How do we sustain it? It's by power. Because if you don't have power, you don't have energy, you will not sustain, the value addition. This is the reason why the Minister of Mines and Energy as the sector lead, when the compact was won by Liberia, we had a representation at the Ministry of Finance where the meeting was heard, and we came up with a unanimous decision. I was in the lead, in campaigning for that the compact, because there are two-way streets that America gave to us to use the compact, either on transport or on energy. We led that campaign, and Liberia stakeholders unanimously agreed that the entire compact money should be put on energy. Because the Singapore It's in Port 2, it's in progress, it's in John, Hydro, it's in progress. There are a lot of energy projects on site. So we need sufficient, affordable, and and accessible power that will back our value addition quest. So the energy is not forgotten about. We spoke about it plentifully here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Liberia is on the right trajectory. I can see it. And I know that very soon you will feel it as well. Because positively, and what I'm seeing and what I see coming, I can tell you say that if we never did it before, it is not time for us to do it. This is the time. I see the huge potential coming to Liberia, and I can assure you that Liberia, under this responsible governance of President Joseph Mwanga and his able vice president, Liberia will go high. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me begin by thanking the minister. I share the same sentiment that you just expressed in terms of the direction and trajectory. I happen to have been in Brussels last week as part of the EU summit, and from my own perspective, the caliber of leaders that is now in this government is really trying to bring success to Liberia. So everybody stay tuned. There's going to be a lot that's going to be happening. So let me first begin by, I think there was a question, someone had a question on how many airports do we have in Liberia? It's a bit of a difficult question to answer, and the reason for that is because there are a lot of private and airstrips. But I would say under the guidance of the Liberia Airport Authority, there are 15 airstrips domiciled in Liberia that we as the Liberia Airport Authority manages. And just to give you a perspective of where they are, we have 3 in Lima County, we have 2 in Lofa, 1 in Cape Mount, 1 in Riverside, 2 in Maryland, and 1 in Sando. And then there's the one that everybody knows, right, in Monrovia, and then there's also the international airport. And the next question was then, what are you guys doing to modernize the airstrips? So to get into that, I would say one of the first things we've done about, it was a scene last week, Mr. Sharp and members of the senior management team, the deputy managing director for administration, the chairman of the board, and others, they did a 10-day inspection and assessment tour. So we went in there and tried to see and identify, evaluate the different levels of development needed for these airstrips. So to the question as to what we're going to do or how we're going to modernize it, as you guys all here are aware, financial constraints is one of the things that we face as a government, not just the airport authority. So our approach to working is going to be phased. The first thing I will say to you is that we are in contact with very serious investors. There's 4 of them at the moment that are very interested in not only modernizing the airport, streets included, but also looking at having a domestic airline in Liberia. So this is stuff that's on the table. One of the investors has up to $4 billion to invest. So this is going to be big. But the way we want to approach it is going to be phased. So we're looking at first focusing all of the efforts on streets and 5 other airports. And the strategy for that is also aligned with what the Minister of Public Works also portrayed when we were in Brussels. We're now doing all of the road networks, so Liberia will be connected across Liberia, all of the roads, as well as into the neighboring countries. And our plan dovetails into that in the sense that we want to develop the Springs, Robertsport, one of the airports in Nimba, 1 in Lofa, 1 in Maryland, and 1 in Riverside. And by doing that, the plan is with the interconnectivity of the airports and the road, anybody in Liberia can go anywhere in Liberia under 2 hours. That is the current strategy. And we're hoping to achieve this in a year or even less. What else? The issue with Air Morocco, this is something that has been ongoing for a while. I will immediately, as soon as I leave here, speak with Air Morocco and find out what is it, and then whatever it is, we'll make sure that we come back and publicly share that information with you. It's a serious concern. This is not the first time it's come up, and so this is something that we as Liberia must do something about it. I will also engage the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as well to make sure that we're looking at this at a governmental level. The commercial flights, again, I just want to emphasize something here. The issue of a charge of $3 per kilogram, but only accepting USD. We have not at the Springfield issue commercial licenses. So most of the flights that you see that leave Spring, they're for relief purposes and for humanitarian purposes. But because they have these aircraft empty, they typically would go ahead and so let me just speak a little bit on that. So we currently, in collaboration with the Liberia National Fire Service, we have a rating of a Category 8. What Category 8 means is that Brussels Airlines, the very big airplanes, they can come to Liberia. So in collaboration with that, with them also having fire trucks at Firestone and also the Liberia National Fire Service, we're able to meet that requirement. However, our own, the airport authority currently domicile at the RIA, we have 3 fully capable fighting fire trucks and 1 ambulance. And then we ourselves want to independently be able to have that level. We've just purchased a fire truck that is supposed to be in country today or latest tomorrow. We are in the process of finalizing a procurement for another ambulance, so that will take it to 4. And then also 2 ambulances, and then 2 partnership and collaboration with the European Union. They have also, this year, we're going to be able to be beneficiary of another fire truck, which will take that to 5, and that will take us to what I was saying, Category 10, and in some instances, even to a Category 12 level. And they've also promised, not promised because it's a firm procurement of another 2 ambulances, which will take our ambulance capability up to 4. So I think those were I don't think I missed any. Those were the questions. Thank you.
When I read a statement from the police in Ghana, I did indicate that the incident resulted in the death of the Liberian in Ghana is being investigated on America. So when a crime is being investigated on the law of another jurisdiction, therapy officers are not included. If there's any engagement between the Liberian authorities and the authorities in Ghana, it has to be done through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And the ministry, for more indication, is effectively playing that role. The crisis in the Middle East, the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has issued an advisory. That advisory clearly lay out, tell Liberians living in those countries have been affected by the attack, what to do, what procedure to follow. Yet you're asking me, what is the government doing to protect Liberians? So we just want to call on our citizens who are living in those countries abroad in the Middle East to follow the advisory as is being published or put out by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. If you follow what the advisory says, those embassies have already issued similar directive, and people who live in those countries will know what to do. The government is concerned about every citizen, home and abroad, and that's why this advisory has been issued. The government repair the empty buses that broke down on former President William. That was the first step the government took. Don't forget, all the buses that were empty, only 2 were functional. So when they got there, the local company was hired through the bid, they won the bid. The first thing they did was to get the spare parts for all the buses. So they were able to put some of the buses back on the road. And those were the buses being used by the public until we sent around all these fleets of buses that we see. So those buses were actually repaired. They were not repaired, of course, not everything, because my understanding is that the former administration used some of the buses for spare parts, so they are beyond repair. So I can say nothing about that, but I do know that a good number of them were repaired by this administration. So, as I was on the phone with the Minister of Public Works in the morning, I told him, I said, one of the journalists at the Ministry of Information has repeatedly brought our attention and inquiry about the road in Jacob. So he'll be here on Thursday of next week. So just reserve your question. I can assure Mr. Kiri is on top of everything, so the road infrastructure, construction of new roads, opening of new roads. So we'll give you the appropriate answer. The fire incident in the Dugoro community, that incident was very sad. But there's a difference between people speculating on social media and what the appropriate authority will do. When the fire service boss came here, they gave a report. They said they were investigating the cause of the fire, but given the circumstances surrounding the incident, how tragic it was, we were giving the family time to recuperate before continuing the investigation. How far they are with it, I can say. I'll have to follow up with them so they can tell us how far they are with that investigation. I know about the fire investigation. I don't know about any investigation involving somebody who is alleged to have played a part in that incident. But all those things will be revealed by the investigation. So just we'll give the investigation the time until we get concluded. What is the government position on US and Iraq war? Liberia is not an ordinary country. We are a member, whether permanent or non-permanent, we are a member of the Security Council. This issue will be brought before Liberia. So the country again is watching the given position. Maybe you, the general director, well, as a member of the Security Council, I don't think it's something that Liberia will start giving position on everything that happens out there. What defines our foreign policy objective as a country, at the UN Security Council, and we get to know what Liberia position is. But when the matter of such happens, I think it's good for countries that play leadership role in global affairs to allow cool heads to prevail. And I think that's exactly what Liberia has done. And not to give a premature position, I will not help the situation. So you ask, Liberians have been attacked abroad. Yeah, there are 2 instances that have been reported. Recently we heard about another Liberian who was deliberately targeted in India, not by Indians, but by our own African brothers. We now see similar thing happening in Ghana. There are schools of Liberians who live in Ghana. It's very sad. But I think the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, through the embassy, working with the embassy of India here, they did issue a statement, and maybe I still recorded, but I think the body of this the victim was returned home. Yes. And those who were involved, one thing you have to understand here is that those who were connected to these two incidents have been arrested. The one in India, the suspect is believed to come from South Sudan. They were arrested on the airport while trying to flee the country. So this latest one in Ghana, 3 persons have been arrested, and the 4th person is on the run. But we do believe that he will be arrested so that they can answer for the crime they committed. Just aside, we just want to send our condolences to the bereaved family. In the 2 instances, the one in India and the one I have in Ghana recently. Those are all of the questions. We want to say many thanks for your courage, and we will look forward to seeing all of you here in your Thank you.
So that's 8-4 to the press briefing here at the Ministry of Information. Also to the MOI press briefing was addressed by Honorable Daniel Otesano, the Acting Minister of Information, Honorable Aro Matinuka Timbe, he's the Minister of Mines and Energy, and Honorable Ines Aro Orchid, a Managing Director of Liberia Airport Authority. So Honorable Sando will speak on key trending national concerns and provided updates on ongoing government initiatives, while Minister Timbe provided updates on his participation in the 2026 Mining Idiaba Conference in South Africa and the Accelerator Conception Agreement renewal and the job benefit that delay protection has arranged for job creation to affect countries' development and educational benefits, among others, while Honorable Orchids are provided updates on transformation currently taking place at the Rabat International Airport, aligning the LAA operations with international aviation standards and regulation. So once again, for those of you who've been following, I would like to say thanks for following our Dojo on Thursday for another edition of MOI Press Briefing. Once again, my name is Masiame calling. Thanks for following.